Collectors, here we are again. This is video number 150, is that right, Ob?
Yeah, 150. How about
150? That, huh? Wow.
Big party today. Yep.
Yeah. You guys might recognize a familiar face here. This is my friend Nick Capobianco. Is that right?
Close enough. Capobianco. C-A-P.
Capobianco. But you guys will remember Nicky was here a couple months ago, I guess. And
I can't believe you invited me back. So
well, we had so many people that wanted you back that it wasn't up to us. We have to satisfy the
That was
viewers.
my wife kept writing in.
She kept writing in. No, that's good.
She's trying to get rid of me.
You guys will remember Nicky last time. He gave a really great tutorial on some Great War. I guess most of them were guns, weren't they?
Yeah,
World
pistols,
War I?
German pistols.
Pistols, yeah. And it was very, very enlightening. I know I learned a lot from it and all. And the collectors thought you did such a good job with that. They just kept writing, "We want Nicky back." So here you are, guys. So what are you gonna? Well, before we get started, let me just.
Yeah, we need a drink.
We need a drink, and I got to show a couple pictures, but the drink first.
I think I might want to try a Denobili. See if I can smoke well without coughing.
Okay. If you cough, it's all right. Nobody cares.
When in Moorestown, you have to live like the natives.
Yep. Have to live like old Whitman here. Now, you want to try some of this Imperial, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Your life is in your hands, buddy.
You are correct, sir.
But I tell you what, I'll make it light for you, Nick, okay?
Well, it's been keeping you going. You don't look too bad, so I could use a little preservation myself.
This will do it. I'll just put a little bit in there. Oh, that's a little bit too much maybe for you.
Just give one that one to me.
I'll use that one for Rob.
Yeah, there you go.
So
So you know me very well.
Well, I don't want to get you all slopped up here. And
I'll be slurring my words after about 10 minutes.
Then your wife will really have plenty to say. Well, but we do this because it's fun. I think most of the collectors like the drinking going on. A lot of them have drinks along with the video too. Absolutely. I understand. So
especially when you mentioned Bob Burns.
Bob Burns, yeah, you mentioned Bob Burns.
That's a drink. That's a drink.
Now, try that, Nick, and see if it's not too strong. If it's too strong, I'll give you more wham.
Oh my God! No, it's just right, Tom.
Sure?
Perfect. Yes. As usual, it's just right.
All right. Well, okay. They are, Rob. You got yours?
Yeah, all right. Prost.
Yeah, toast everybody. Yep. Here's to all you collectors, and hope you enjoy this video. I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
All right, we'll start out. Oh, that's strong. Woo.
You better slow down. It's a long video.
I couldn't get the word start out because of it now. Well, we got a couple things here. A couple pictures that I thought you guys might like. A couple episodes ago, we showed you a very, very rare Saxon Guard sword that came in, and I'm happy to say that one of my customers from Australia, say his name is Peter, I won't say his last name, he told me that he has a Saxon Guard uniform, and he'd never been able to find that sword, so he was kind of thrilled. So I sent it to Australia, and it made it with no problem at all. And then Peter sent us some pictures. That's his Saxon Guard uniform with the Saxon Guard helmet. That's the one with the lion on it. These are the most valuable of all the Pickelhaubs because they're the rarest. And then with the Saxon Guard uniform, and there's our sword there with it, which I think looks very well and kind of completes his piece.
Sure.
And here's another shot of it in front of, oops, almost spilled my soda, if you want to call it that. you can see the extent of his collection with some of the helmets and all, but that's nothing. He has a
Yeah, he's got a real museum going
huge
there.
museum. Yeah, it's just fantastic. So I thought you might like to see that. So there we go. Now we're gonna turn our program over to Nicky.
Uh-oh.
And I think what Nick wants to do first is talk a little bit about Japanese
Some
stuff.
Japanese idols.
Yeah.
These are World War II idols that were brought back by U.S. soldiers, and just a little example of the typical stuff. I have a couple rifles, and it's going to be tough to show you on this video, but I'll do my best. This is the Type 38 Arisaka rifle, and this is the Type 99, and you can see the difference in the size.
Why are they different, Nick? One
The,
better than the other? Or?
No, this is the earlier one. The Type 38 came out around the World War I time,
Yeah.
and that was the year 38. I'm not sure how the Japanese do their calendar, so this was done in that year.
Yeah.
It's a little bit with the emperors, they start their calendar over again. So this one is what they usually did. They had the longer rifles, just like the Mausers in World War I, I mean, were longer. And this is a
Yeah,
6.5.
it looks like a Mauser at first glance.
Almost
You know?
every rifle in
Yeah.
the world looked like a Mauser back then, because it's almost the same exact mechanism.
Uh-huh.
And this one has a dust cover, which was very noisy. Most Japanese soldiers took that off and threw it away immediately.
What is a dust cover for?
So
other
when
than
you're-
keeping the dust out.
That's exactly. So when you're in the jungle and you're running around, things are not getting into the action.
So
and
why
you're
would
not-
they throw it away?
Because it made noise.
Oh,
And
okay.
to a soldier, you make noise, you die. So they got rid of this right away. And this is a 6.5 millimeter.
Let me just interrupt. So then
Sure.
it's kind of rare to find the
Yes.
dust cover still on it. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually this one did not have the dust cover when I got it. I
Where
bought
is it,
this
Nick?
separately.
Right there, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
See this
forgive you
piece?
for that.
And it wiggles off. I don't want to take it off. It doesn't go back on.
No.
So and you see how it makes noise.
Yeah.
And the soldiers don't like noise.
Yeah.
All right, let me just release the pressure on that. And this is what the average Japanese soldier used in World War II. This is a Model 99 Arisaka. And it's a little bit shorter, and it had a couple things. It's also came with a dust cover. This one doesn't have it, of course. But also what it does have, which most don't have, is the monopod.
Oh, that's nice.
And again, this is one of the things that the average Japanese soldier took that off and threw it away because it was in the way,
Oh,
because it was annoying.
it would seem
And
to me it's pretty handy though if you're laying there.
if you're
and
like,
you wanna
but
shoot.
how tall? Like you had to bring your head way up here.
Yeah.
You know, the American soldiers like to have their rifles way down, so
Yeah.
they were lower. So it served a great purpose, but it wasn't really that practical. So it is hard to find them still on the rifle. That's a neat item.
Is one rifle worth more than the other as far as
The 99 is
collectability,
worth
or-
more. This older one is not worth as much because it's not in demand. Most collectors want the Model 99.
Oh, I see.
And
Are they difficult to find?
no, these are very common. They're,
they?
as World War II rifles go, probably the most inexpensive you can get.
Really?
Yeah, you can buy these, a nice one, in the $400 or $500 range sometimes. Yeah,
That's pretty cheap,
yeah.
yeah.
So compared to a lot of German and American stuff now is going through the roof, it's in the thousands.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a fortune for everything they have.
Yeah.
And the Japanese made the Model 30 bayonet. This is an example with the hook quilling. And this is an example, this is an earlier example. And this one has the straight quilling, which they made later. I believe the hook quilling was for when you had it on your weapon and you were fighting. If you got the other soldier's bayonet into that, you could break it off. You can get it hooked into that and snap it off. So,
That sounds like you'd have to be
you-
pretty...
you-
I don't know about that, Nick.
but then you realize in a modern war, you don't really get that close that often.
No,
So they
no.
realized that was a waste of engineering and time and bending it. So they saved a little bit of metal, and now it went from there to there.
Is it basically the same weapon? Just
It's
just
absolutely the
with
same.
quilling?
Well, not absolutely the same. They made 8 million Type 30 bayonets.
Wow.
Every single Japanese soldier was issued this bayonet, whether they had a rifle or not. It was also a weapon.
Yeah.
So it was a very effective weapon. I believe it's a 16-inch blade, which, you know, can come in handy.
Yeah.
And this one is a little bit, and they call blued stainless steel. This one is actually a blued blade.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit nicer condition. And the leather scabbard is really, the frog I should say, is they're tough to come by. The leather they used in Japan in the 30s and the early 40s didn't really last, especially when it was in the jungle. It wasn't treated right, so most of this stuff rots away.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to find the rifle slings, the leather items. They're very hard to come by. And also, you can see all the markings, just like German stuff. The Japanese marked everything. And these markings that tell you where it was made. That's the arsenal. I believe that's the Toyota automatic loom, this marking right there. And then that one is the, I have it written down here.
So Toyota didn't just make cars?
No, the Toyota automatic loom. I don't think it's the same as a car company. The Toyota with a D.
Oh.
And this is Nagoya Army. That means it's Nagoya Army Arsenal. And this one has a different Army Arsenal on it. That has the representation of a stacked cannonballs looking down at it. And that's the Kokura Army Arsenal. So
Yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, I never realized that. You're right. It's stacked cannonballs.
if you're looking down at it.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't know that until I read it. I just thought it was a
Yeah.
bunch of little circles.
Yeah, me too. Now you cleared me up on that.
And all the rifles and everything has a chrysanthemum on it, and that means it's the property of the emperor. In most cases, when a soldier got this rifle at the end of the war, they wanted the chrysanthemum defaced or completely rubbed off. This one just has an X through it, so that means someone other than a Japanese soldier can have it. And also this one is really interesting. There's no defacing of the chrysanthemum at all, and that actually helps the value by a couple $100. When you have a chrysanthemum that is not defaced or rubbed off, it adds value to the rifle.
Let me just ask this. I always called the flower a chrysanthemum too. And somebody wrote me a while ago and said it's not a chrysanthemum, it's a cherry blossom. You know, if that's
You know what? They're probably right, but I've been collecting for 40
Everybody
years, and
calls it
everyone
that.
calls it that. So I'm so
yeah.
used to calling it that.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't. You know what? Cherry blossom's a lot easier to say than chrysanthemum.
especially after a couple of pops.
If that takes off in the collector community, I'd be more than happy to call it a cherry blossom. You know,
Well, I don't. I just wonder what was correct.
you know what? I've given up on deciding what's correct anymore. Whatever people do, that's correct.
Well, we have terms that come in the hobby, whether they're right or whether they're wrong. There's a lot of things that are incorrectly termed.
Like the anodizing for the daggers,
Yeah,
it makes
yeah,
no sense.
People are always talking about burnishing with it being a blackening process. It's not at all. To burnish something is to put gold on it. So these things just, I don't know, but doesn't matter.
Sometimes collectors enjoy, we love collecting, but we're not always the smartest guy in the room either. So we sometimes get things wrong.
And I think that's forgivable, especially when we all use the term incorrectly.
And so these Type 30 bayonets, they fit on everything the Japanese made, weapon-wise.
Oh, that's
They're
right, yeah.
interchangeable from the First World War on to 1945. Everything was set up. Like these two rifles are different calibers, but these bayonets are exactly the same. They fit on both of them just the same.
Wow.
And there's like
Know
15 other items the Japanese made. Their submachine guns, their other rifles, all have an attachment for a Type 30 bayonet.
How
And this
about
was a
that?
standard weapon. Like I said, over 8 million of these were made
That's a
by the
lot.
Japanese, and every single soldier was given one, whether they had a rifle or not. It was a useful weapon. It was a tool. It was pretty strong. You use it as a pry bar. It was a very common one. Everyone had one. And
Very
also,
good, Nicky.
Do you think they had 8 million soldiers?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot.
All right, Nicky's going to show us a couple of samurai swords here, and I'm sure everybody's interested in learning a little bit about them. So what do we got here, Nick?
Well, here we had the main two types carried by Japanese officers and NCOs in World War II. This is an NCO sword, which is like a faux handle. It's a molded handle, which is take the place of an actual original type handle.
So this is
cloth
all
and
like
race
a
cable.
molded thing?
Yep, that's all aluminum molded.
Yeah.
So like the
Yeah.
ray skin. It's
Yeah.
all just fake.
Yeah.
And this one actually has ray skin with the
Right.
cloth winding and
Right.
the nice cherry blossom,
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
whatever it is, down in there. These are molded in, and these are actually a medallion placed onto the handle.
Right.
So, and you can see the differences in how nice all the accoutrements are, and the hooks, and coming down into the scabbard.
So with every army, the officer always got a better piece.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of attractive. That carrying band.
It's very ornate,
Yeah.
and you'll see that this is the most common. These were things that were issued
Yeah.
from the government to the soldier.
Yeah.
And both of these items have what we call arsenal blades. These are stainless steel arsenal manufactured blades. And you can tell there's no tempering on the edge. This was made just like a dagger sword or a German
Yeah.
swords were made,
Yeah.
but not a traditional folded method and handmade like the traditional samurai sword would be made.
Somebody told me once too that they're not sharp near the ricasso. Is that true? Or
Well, they're not supposed to be,
yeah.
because you don't need it down there.
Yeah.
Well, like
whereas on an early blade, it'll always be sharp.
Hold on, let me make sure we got the band-aids handy.
yeah, yeah, that might be a good idea. So I'm gonna. This is, like I said, these are very common and the most inexpensive things to collect. And you can see this really cool blade. Now these are mine. I brought it to show. Tom has his own officer's sword, which the blade is so much nicer, and you can see a little bit shorter. But this is a traditional handmade blade. And you can see the tempering on the edge of the blade. See that waviness? Could you catch that with the camera, Rob?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
put it back down, I think, and get it better. Yeah.
That shows
It's
you.
got a nicer cross guard too, doesn't it?
Yes, everything's fancier, and even the ray skin is
Yeah.
nicer. A little bit more ornate on the top. You can tell how it's just a little bit better. It's the same tassel. These are army tassels.
Right.
That here, I'll put this one over.
Let's see the scabbard on mine too. See what it looks
Okay.
like compared to these.
Oh, that's a huge difference too.
Now, why is this one like this has an extra band down the bottom?
More
Is that
expensive.
just something fancy?
Well, when I'm not an expert on this Japanese stuff. As far as I know, this scabbard is a government-made scabbard to be issued to an officer. This officer had a family blade. This is a handmade blade, and they took all the stuff off of that sword and put the person purchased all of these items separately to make this family traditional sword part of his army uniform. Because they couldn't use the old fittings, they had to put on
Right,
these
right.
modern army fittings. So this is
this blade could be 100 years old.
yes,
or
it could be
something like that.
500 years old.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that. It looks like it's a 100-year-old blade, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You'd have to take it off and know how to read Japanese. I don't know how to read any of that.
Yeah.
But this is so much nicer. And when I got here, I thought I was going to show a nice officer's sword. Then I saw this. It goes, mine looks terrible compared to that. But this has value, and this is like $1,500. This is probably $3,000 or $4,000. That's the difference, and it's more than double the price.
Well, I can't explain why I have a nicer sword than yours. I just thought it was pretty when I bought it some
Oh, it is.
35 years ago. And,
Well, you have deeper pockets than I do also. That certainly helps when you're collecting. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I want to put this one away because this one is like a razor blade. I don't want to rob
Yeah.
to be right, and we're going to need Band-Aids. So I'm going to put this away
You
immediately.
get cut with one of those, you need more than Band-Aids, you need some stitches. I've seen people at shows before take a samurai sword out and then rub their finger down the edge of the blade and half their fingers cut
Yeah,
off.
Yeah,
I seen,
you don't
I
realize.
seen a guy came out of the scabbard and he grabbed the
Yeah,
sword.
grabbed it, and they're very, very dangerous. So you want to, with any samurais, you want to be very, very, very careful.
Right, so that's some edge weapons from Japanese, and a few other items I want to show you, which I think are neat, is a Japanese Type 14 pistol.
You're talking so much, Nicky. Your drink is still full. That doesn't
You're right.
happen around
All
here.
right, let me stop. Take a breath.
How's your drink, Ob?
I'm okay.
You're okay? All right. For some reason, I'm not okay. I guess I was.
The more I talk, the more you drink.
I think that's what it is, Nicky. Well, keep talking then, because I like it.
I hope you make it to the end of the video.
So far, I have on every one, although it gets a bit slurry towards the hour and a half mark, you know. There we go. So what do you got here now, Nick?
All right, have a Japanese canteen, which I think are pretty cool. It's like ceramic.
Yeah,
I've never seen one before, I don't think.
I think they easily break in the field.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you hit a rocket, that's it.
That's why it's there. You know, you don't see them that often, and it has all the original writing. What that means, I don't know. But this one I like also because I like things that are personalized by the soldier. And the Japanese soldier who owned this stitched his name onto the back.
That is?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that?
So I think that's pretty cool. Again, like I collect this stuff, and I do love stuff that's personalized. That makes it real, makes it human, puts that human touch to it.
Well, it does.
It helps
yeah,
the collecting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like personalized
How
things.
long have you had that for, Nick?
Oh, I've had this 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's something like that worth? I'm just curious.
You know what? I wish I was up to date on it, but it's probably at least 150 bucks, 200.
That's all?
I
That's
think
all, yeah.
so. Yeah, the Japanese stuff is affordable. You can collect it. Apparently, the German and U.S. stuff is a little bit more in demand and costs more.
Yeah, it does.
But you know, and to find this Japanese stuff with the leather still intact, this is very brittle, and I don't want to take it apart ever because you don't know it'll just fall apart. You can see how the leather's all dried out here.
Yeah.
So if you do find one, you know, at a flea market or at a shop, be real careful with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't play with it.
You break it, you bought it.
You are correct, sir. And here is a typical Japanese pistol. This is a Type 14 Nambu, and this is the older leather holsters.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, they also come with shoulder straps, which I don't have, which I wish I did because they really make it really cool. And then you open it up, and this one has the soldier who got it in World War II put his name in it,
Wow,
and
that's
the
cool.
original Japanese writing there. That's
cool.
his unit, APO, and all that stuff that has like the military
So
designation.
that's personalized too.
Yes.
And
It's
this
a good
is
name for a soldier, Hunter.
Yep, Paul Hunter. And here is a Japanese Type 14 Nambu.
Nambus are people like them, don't
Oh
they?
yeah, they're real popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, these run like $1,200-$1,500 now.
Yeah.
And this one's not in great shape. It's in decent shape, but you can get one. You see how it's got the corrosion on it. It's not the greatest shape, but it's been there, done that. It was used during the war.
Were the Nambu pistols carried just by officers or
Usually officers. Very few NCOs
Yeah.
had pistols. They had swords. They
Right.
issued that
Yeah,
NCO
they had
sword I
swords,
showed you.
Yeah.
But yeah, pistols, there wasn't a lot of them out there. And just to show you, I have a couple examples. This is like an ammo pouch for spare ammo. And that's the bullet that it used. It's an 8mm.
Yeah, it's smaller than the Luger bullets.
That looks similar to that Mauser, the K98
Caliber.
or the
Yeah.
what's that one? Yeah, the 98 Mauser.
Yeah. Were these a particularly accurate pistol?
Actually, they're really nice. They're really accurate, and I'm not gonna take that out. I'm gonna show you something how you cock it. Squeeze the trigger. That's one of the nicest triggers you'll ever see in a military pistol.
Sure, it's not
It's
loaded.
not loaded.
I can't even squeeze it.
Oh, you know what?
It's unlocked.
I forgot. I didn't have the magazine in. I forgot
Okay.
it has a safety.
Oh, that is
It's
easy,
very
yeah.
smooth and
Yeah.
easy. Yes.
And it feels very quality, too. Yeah. How
It's
about
made
that?
extremely well. This
Yeah.
particular one was made in the 30s. It was an early production.
I see some writing here. Are those manufacturer indications or the type of gun it
Yes,
is,
that's
or-
that shows you the factory where it was made and the date also. And this is the date. That's the serial number and that's the date. I believe this was like 1937 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's all those Japanese use dates different than us.
Yeah.
So there's easy. You just gotta look it up in a book, and it'll tell you exactly what that is. It's actually the date and the month. It's not just a year. They give you the month it was made also.
That's pretty cool.
All right, and then my last Japanese item I want to show you is my favorite. Of course, I save for the end, but this is a Japanese Marine helmet, which is one of the nicest ones I've ever seen.
How would you know it's Marine?
Well, that's the guy who sold it to me told me. Also, it's
okay.
the camouflage. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going on his word.
Yeah, right.
It's a gentleman, Jerry. He's an old-time dealer going back 20 years. I bought this from him for $500 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And he told me if I ever need to sell it, he'll happily give me my money back. It just came out of his personal collection. I hear that from guys like you all the time.
Yeah, thanks
but
a lot.
it is a great helmet, and the liner is in great shape for a Japanese helmet, and also the ties are in great shape. They're not frayed. It's very difficult to find these helmets in that pristine condition, with everything still in them.
And that was his own mark, you think?
I think that might have been the person's name, or might have been the size of the helmet. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is.
I think it's more like his name, maybe, because the size of the helmet would have been, I don't know, stamped in or something, because that could just wear out. And these are like a bit of a camouflage.
Yeah.
Is that what it's the purpose of it is? Yeah.
To find that really cool original camouflage like that,
Yeah.
it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I would think it would be. Now, would these deflect a bullet just like any helmet?
No,
It seems a
helmets
little,
helmets don't deflect bullets.
No.
No. Helmets deflect like debris raining down on you, like you're at a construction site.
Yeah.
Rocks and things. But a bullet will go right through that like butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's modern day helmets that they use today are Kevlar and
Yeah.
layered. They can stop a bullet. These World War II helmets, not even close.
Okay. All right, Nick, we're going to do some unboxing now, and you're appointed the official cutter.
I'm looking
The
forward
Bob
to
Burns man.
I've been all week. I've been giddy about coming to undo your boxes here.
Oh,
So
yeah,
my
right.
Bob Burns cutter,
Yep.
I just broke it off. It's ready to go, nice and
Yep.
sharp, like butter.
Oh, look at that.
Forgot to tell you,
Where's
this is
it come
coming
from?
from Vero Beach, Florida.
Oh, yeah, we get a lot of stuff from there. Must be a good place.
Oh, good bags.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, more bags, Ob.
Nice Target bags.
Yeah, Target, French.
French, yeah.
Looks like you got an SS officer's belt there, maybe, Pop.
Well, we could hope for that. I don't know. Looks like some kind of belt, though. You're right, Ob. Let's move this. Now, when I get done with the stuff, we got to make sure we put it back in the same box so that I know who it came from, and don't send the wrong guy a check,
And give Bob the bags.
or a right guy the wrong check. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we do have a belt. Yeah, well, this is quite nice.
Oh, it's Army.
Yeah, this is an Army officer's brocade. Beautiful, beautiful brocade.
Looks
It
like it's in great shape.
Looks like it's never been worn almost. And one thing you want to see too, it's got both the keepers. Sometimes there's a keeper missing, and that kind of louses it up. But yeah,
buckle,
beautiful,
Pop?
beautiful buckle. These are aluminum all the time.
There are marks inside on the reverse.
Well, you can see it's two-piece. The front part is extended around the edge here for the second piece. And I don't think it's marked, though, unless the camera sees something that I don't.
There's usually something in there.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that's a extremely nice.
Well, from looking from the interior of it, there's no wear whatsoever.
No, it's
looks
got
brand
like
new, yeah.
the interior is almost like a felt. It's real nice and.
And it would show wear if it was worn. So
No. I should look on the leather. Maybe there's something there that could tell us something. No. But see how nice that leather is? That does not look like it's been worn more than once or twice.
yeah, I don't think that's issue. That's a really nice one.
Yeah. So that's a good one for you guys out there that are really fussy and you're collecting belts.
You had that dress uniform without a belt.
Yeah,
now it'll be complete.
Fantastic. And then looks like we've got some other stuff here. Wow, this is that's a police buckle. It's pretty nice, but it's a little squashed in the center.
Yeah, I
You
noticed
see
that.
Yeah.
Somebody sat on it or something.
Yeah, somebody did something with that. But otherwise, it's still got good detail and got mittens and no marks inside.
And that's police?
Police, yeah.
Yeah, something happened to that. Yeah,
I don't think that's something that probably could be repaired pretty easily. Just push it out the other way and you're all set again. But
It looks like it's been removed already because
Think
the
so?
tab looks like it's a little loose right there. So if you just bend those tabs up,
Yeah.
that medallion will come out.
Yeah,
and
and
you
you
can probably
can,
repair it and put it back in.
yeah.
I wouldn't mess with it, but if you
Yeah,
were
it's just
inclined to do
it's
that.
not very rare.
Now this is, you know what that is, Nicky?
That's the Shako?
The NSFK crash helmet, and that's the first model Eagle that they wore. That's a pretty nice item there.
If you need it.
If you need it, yeah.
I could see soldiers taking that off the helmet rather than bringing that
Oh,
leather
yeah.
monstrosity.
Yeah. I can put this in my bag.
Yeah.
The helmet's too
The
hard
looks
to
of
put.
that thing, that was never, that's right.
Doesn't
out of
look
the factory.
issued, does
No,
it?
No,
No.
those tabs are...
What does something like that worth, do you think?
To somebody who needs one?
About $200, you know, maybe a little bit more in that condition. Plus, it's the first model, so it's a little rarer than the second model. It might be $250.
I like it as a standalone item. I think it's really cool.
It is cool. The Eagle design is really neat. You know, it sort of has that SA look, but of course it's NSKK.
So if you had a nice chain NSKK in a box,
Yeah.
you could put that on there as part of the display.
Wouldn't it look great?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty nice item. Okay. Those babies.
It's a good box from Florida. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good box. Thank you from Florida, sir.
Good old Vero Beach.
Yeah, Vero Beach.
Now here's a box that looks daggery,
It does look Dagger.
and it's from something Grand, California. I can't even. It's
Let me see here.
Arroyo Grande.
What's it say on the side of the box? No, you can't guess what's inside by shaking me.
That's a good one.
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Feels like a dagger.
I say it's an Acorn Army.
Now that's getting a little specific, but we'll
Took a
see if
shot.
you're right.
I got about 1 in
If-
1,500. 1,500.
If you're right, you better play the lottery today.
Yeah, you're right about
Why? I'll
that.
never hit anything again if I'm right.
Well, it looks like we got a nice roll-up bag here, which I think comes from me somewhere along the line.
Looks like one of yours, Pop.
Yeah, that's one of mine. They're very handy, those things, when you go to a show and put the stuff in you bought, you know, so it doesn't get all wrecked up.
Put about 8 daggers in there if you want.
Take that here. Let's see what we got here. Well, you were right, Nicky. It's definitely daggery, I think.
Daggery.
Daggery. Whoever coined
Johnny V.
Johnny, that's a Johnny
B,
thing. Yeah.
Johnny B, yeah.
We have to give him credit every time you say it.
He
Johnny-
coined that term.
Yeah,
He has to be paid royalties.
yeah.
Daggery. Coined in 2018 by Johnny V.
Well, looks like we got 3 pieces in here. Let's see what we got. Where was this coming from? Oh, California, right?
California. Arroyo Grande, I believe.
Well, I'll say one thing. Boy,
It's a nice essay you got there,
look
Pop.
at the anodized scabbard on that. Look at that, Nick. Isn't that tremendous?
That is nice.
Man, that's nice. Whew. Boy, you just don't see them like that.
Nice ball, no big
Oh
dings
yeah,
on it.
it's that's a real winner, and the grip is pretty. No problems with it.
Gonna make a guess who made it?
I don't think I can tell on that one.
Is that a bigger lip than usual? Is that?
It's straighter. It's got the pack look
that's what
to
I say,
it, but the scabbard is not necessarily packed. But it could be. But it could be a million other ones too. But let's see. It's got a NRH Grupa on it. Boy, I hope the blade's as nice as the scabbard. Oh, it is too. Wow. Boy, this is a mint thing.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, look at that, guys. See all the grain in there and everything, Nick? It's really nice. And, oh, Puma. Wow, how about that? You guys, you like Pumas? Oh, that's a pretty dagger.
You don't see Pumas so often on the SOs.
No, that is really a pretty dagger. That might even go upstairs. It's so pretty.
Jeez.
Really nice.
You sold me a Puma and it's even nicer than that.
Oh,
years
yeah?
ago, yeah.
And it didn't go upstairs?
No, I probably got it before you had a chance to.
Just lay the scabbard out with the dagger. And, it's so nice looking. I just want to get another shot of it together. Yeah. No, I can't see it behind the ice.
Oh, okay.
No. That's fine. Just yeah.
That's a pretty piece, though.
The only wearing that blade is from the runners.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have to have that,
Yeah.
you know.
Can't get away from that.
No.
Boy, that's mint. That's a nice dagger.
You know, we get a lot of essays, of course, because there were a lot of them, but you don't see many in
That
that kind of
scabbard looks so
condition.
nice. It almost looks like it's painted, and then you realize it's not.
It's anodized.
Yeah.
Was there only one type Puma trademark, or is there an early one or a later one, or was that it?
Well, this is what you'll see on the early pieces.
Okay.
This is etched, too, with the diamond around it.
Yeah.
So that's a real winner. That's really
That's a nice sound too when you shut
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. Let's see what we got next. Oh, that's pretty nice too. The scabbard's not as nice as this one, but it's still pretty nice. Couple little carrying signs here and nice nickel guards. The ball is good. WF is the group on this one. And let's see who made this dagger. Ooh, another choice blade. Yeah, that's a mint blade too, Nick. Wow. Henkel's. I love Henkel's.
Well, this guy knows his makers.
You can tell this dagger wasn't stored in a nice environment like this one. You can see a little bit of
yeah,
corrosion
vertebrae
forming
and all
on
that
it, yeah.
stuff, yeah.
This one was wrapped up and that
Yeah.
one was left in the open.
Because this doesn't look clean. It looks like it was never
Yeah.
dirty. But this is a nice piece too. Henkel's are...
Lay it out for me again, Pop.
People like Henkel's pieces. They were really
Sure.
a quality producer.
Okay.
You want a denobly?
Sure, if you're gonna.
Better get some Robitussin now for Nick after he starts coughing on that thing.
Yeah, we'll have the whole place be smoked out.
Yeah, we won't be able to see anything.
In Jersey, this is one of the milder things you can smoke.
You're right. Don't burn your mustache.
There you go.
I think you're all right. One more.
That's good. That's good.
Feel like you're back in Italy?
Back somewhere.
But you don't want to say, right? All right. Now let's see what we got next here. Whoa, another really nice scabbard. See, that's really primo too. All the anodizing is there. You're just seeing where the protective lacquer. And this one does look like a pack because the upper scabbard fitting is shorter. See the comparison? See how it's shorter? Pack made those scabbards. It may not be a pack, but that scabbard was made by Pack.
Well, it doesn't look shorter, but I can see that.
You can't see where this is thinner than this is. No,
A little bit.
maybe it's my dagger eye that, but I can tell that.
I think the power of suggestion's making me think it is. But
No, well, I recognize it whenever I see it, so it must be.
that's why you're
something-
the expert.
Oh yeah. So let's see who made this. Grip is nice. It's an NRH Rupa. Love the scabbard too. Wow, that's nice. Good blade, a beauty.
Yeah, these are nice pieces.
Yeah, this guy.
He has
he's
some nice
got
stuff.
Your taste, Nick.
Yeah.
Your taste. Wow.
I used to love things that were been there, like they've been through the war.
Yeah,
And now after
yeah.
your influence, I want everything to be beautiful and perfect.
All right, let's see who made this baby. Boy, I'm good, I'm telling you. There you go.
He's a Pac-Man.
Well, again, this is smaller. I say it's smaller, you say you don't see it is, but it is. That's why I recognize it as Pac. It has to be, or I wouldn't
I
notice
think
it.
you recognize it mainly because of the cross guard.
Cross garter is different too. They're straighter across. Well, here we go, guys. We're on the next box. Where's this thing coming from, Nicky?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Is there anything on the other side?
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Old Bridge, New Jersey.
Oh,
Close
that's
by.
not far. That's
Yeah.
not far. That's what, about 50 miles up the pike, I guess, something like that.
Nothing too far in Jersey. It's not that big.
Now,
Uh-oh. I see some gifts in there.
oh no, is that what it is? Ooh. Now, this is... Okay, collectors.
Speaking of
I get it. I get it.
Noblies.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick.
Oh, Nick needs an ashtray. Hold up.
Let's
No, I
see
don't
what-
mind. I'll just share it.
Okay.
No worries.
Wow, look at this. I get embarrassed about this, collectors, but I mean, it's hard not to say thank you. You turn it the wrong way, Nick. Okay. Tom and Rob, this is from Tom in Old Bridge. I wanted to thank both of you for letting me and my wife be a part of the Mac Show video. We're at
that's
the
nice.
end.
Yeah.
The guy with the early etched Eichhorn Army dagger. Yeah,
Yeah,
remember that one?
sure.
Yeah, that was a nice dagger. We had a great time at the show and had a blast doing the video. Please accept these as a thank you. Wow.
We'll have to get a screenshot and put them on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, that's... all I did was interview him. He had a nice dagger, and... I mean, isn't that nice?
Did he sell it to you?
No, he didn't sell it. He's keeping it.
Did he buy it from you?
No.
Throw that stuff in the trash. You're only kidding.
So look at here, Nick. We're in... we got some denobilies to get through the video here.
What's the man's first name again, Dad?
His name is Tom.
Tom. Another Tom?
Another Tom, yeah. A lot of Toms in this world. And let's see what this is. This is probably for Ob. It says Ob, had it for 40 years. Hope you like it. Thank you again. I hope
cool.
it's not cigarettes. You had
Yeah,
it for 40
if
years.
it's a 40-year-old cigar, it's not worth it.
Yeah, or syphilis or
Old Gold.
old gold.
I think it is cigarettes.
It's
an
collector
Yeah,
cigarettes.
yeah, the
Don't-
collector
don't open
cigarettes.
those.
No, that's great. Thank you very much.
I sort of remember Old Gold.
Are they American? Are they British? Or?
No, they're American.
Almost looks like the way the Europeans
I
package their
remember
cigarettes.
Old Gold though when I was a kid. Huh, how about that? Well, that's a pretty nice thing, Ob.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I will appreciate that.
Boy, what a nice man. Oh, there's something else here for Rob.
Just in case of emergencies, I'll keep that by
No,
my
don't
weapons.
open that. Don't open that.
Old gold. That's
Oh,
before
here's
my
something you can
time.
smoke now.
There's that good Richmond.
You know what?
Richmond,
This is a
Virginia.
bad habit. I'm going to throw these away for you.
Oh,
to do you a
thanks,
favor.
yeah. That's
Boy, I'll
good.
tell you, these are worth a fortune anymore.
It's like $10 a
Wow.
pack for
Oh, I
cigarettes.
wish it's more than that now. Gotta
Well,
give it
thank
up.
you.
Can't afford it.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Hey, thank you, Tom.
I think I got to interview more people. Huh? It's pretty
There you
cool.
go. See what happens? You
Yeah.
give me a half of the Nobly and you get 2 boxes in return. See how cool that
And,
is?
and I got a bag too on top of
Yeah,
everything else.
that's it. Remember how they always say giving is better than receiving?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I got both. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Right?
Some nice people out there, guys. I'm telling you. I don't do that though. You shouldn't be doing that. I don't. I mean, I love it, but you shouldn't do it.
Sperry, Oklahoma.
Don't think we've had anything from there.
Seems awful light. I don't know what it is.
A lot of money for postage. It must be something.
Feels like a flag.
I don't know. It's $41.25 for postage, and the box weighs nothing.
They probably
It's that's
insurance, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Well, it got safe, so you wasted your money.
I always insure things for double of what it's worth. So if they do lose it, at least I get like a bonus out of it.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, go ahead and lose it. See if I care.
Well, that's kind of gambler's way of thinking, and you're not a gambler, Nick.
Not really, no.
You don't play the crap table, do you?
Yeah.
No. You should. It's fun.
Well, I'll gamble, but I usually lose. But I know that going in. This is like triple box.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what this is. It's so light.
Careful now, careful.
Yeah, get those Band-Aids out there. Boy, what do we got here?
Actually, it looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, it does. There's a note with it.
Looks like a utility bill.
That's the one he didn't pay and used the envelope. Let's see here what this is all about. Before I unravel it, it's not long. Enclosed. I don't know what he says. Something about $1,000. So I'm in trouble here. I can see all that already. I think I might have offered to buy this or something, but
Hey, there's the Army Dagger where I thought was coming.
yeah. Wow. What a pretty thing. I can take that, Nicky.
There's also another item in that box. It was in here. It looks like a Spanga.
The Spanga, yeah, that's a second-class Spanga. Yeah, it's a real one too. This Army is very, very nice. It's got generic type fittings, but it's early. You can tell that by look at the quality of the leaves on the scabbard and all. See how that's all hand enhanced, and and the silvering is really good. So this was an early made dagger, and then we have the monogram of the original owner.
Oh, I like that.
What is that? ER? You think, Nick? I'm not sure.
I think that is ER.
ER. It's quite beautifully done.
Ernst Reinhold.
There you go. Yeah. Eric Rader.
There you go.
Rader, yeah.
There you go.
This is Eric Rader when he was in the Army. See? Wow. Beautiful blade. Isn't that nice?
Let me see that crossguard again. That's
It's a nice generic A crossguard.
Sure, that looks too nice to be a generic.
Yeah.
I see a lot of extra
Well, it's
work in
because
that.
it's early. That is one of the initial production out of the.
You gonna?
Anyway.
So you have no guess of who made this?
You can't because it's generic. It could be anybody. But I suspect it might be a nice maker, though. None.
None. There you go.
Well, because it's early like this, and monogrammed, and with no maker, this was probably an initial production piece that was sold through a retail store. That's usually what these are when they're early like that.
I personally love to see a maker on it, but there's an exception. If it's monogrammed or personalized, then that makes up for not having a maker mark on it.
And the scabbard. You know, collectors, you see a lot of scabbards, but very few have beautiful detail like that. See, now somebody sat there for probably a half an hour enhancing those oak leaves and all to make that really nice. And that's the kind of thing you just don't see on later pieces. Plus the silvering was very good too because it's all still there. There's no lifting anywhere.
And isn't the pebbling a little bit smaller than the later ones?
And on the early ones, the pebbling is small. Very good observation, Nick.
See, I see some things, not everything, but some.
But you're right there. So that That's a very fine dagger.
Yeah, but I love that when they're monogrammed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's not early enough to be brass. It's going to be a steel scabbard, I would think. But yeah, but it's wow, is that steel? Man, boy, that thing will lift you up. You got something steel in your pocket? I'll lift it right up with this magnet. Man. No, that's a very nice piece. I like it a lot. And the check's in the mail, sir.
And it's got that really cool little Spanga too.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
And the spang, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, the spang is nice also. That's a second class one, you know, that hooked into the black and white ribbon. You know how they look, Nick?
I just saw a collector friend of mine has a radled pistol that his father brought back from the war, and on the holster there is a Spanga on the holster.
Usually that's a veteran.
The vet did that, yeah.
Did that, usually. Because normally they wouldn't be allowed to, you know.
They couldn't do anything like, yeah, only
No,
U.S. soldiers did that.
Yeah. Usually that's the case. I mean, there could be some guy that I'm putting this on there, but he wasn't putting his Spanga on his holster. He was wearing it on his uniform.
Yeah, you put it on that little button on the side. How
right.
much does stuff like that go for nowadays?
That's worth about $200, $250.
Pretty good. Awesome.
So there you go. Make sure that
It's a
little
very
letter
nice
goes in
dagger.
there. Very nice dagger. I'm glad
I was
to have it.
surprised there was a dagger in this box. It felt so light. I didn't think it was heavy enough to have a dagger.
You didn't think what?
I didn't think there was a dagger in that box. It was so light.
You know, I agree with you. That was like a box of air.
It was. This was the same way. It might have two daggers in it. This one is from Hayden, Indiana.
What's the name of the place?
Hayden. Hayden. Hayden.
Yeah, okay. He's got his arrow for up. See that?
Oh, I see that.
Don't turn it upside down, Nick. The alarm will go off.
There you go. Here's a nice
another-
letter for
Another
you.
little letter here.
We got the Sunday comics in here. Let me get this out of the way.
Well, he says there's going to be some kind of a cap in here, so we'll see. I like caps too.
Good.
You like caps, Nick?
I love them. I wish I could afford them. Any one I like, I can't afford.
Caps are really, wow, look at this baby here.
Oh, that's a nice looking Luftwaffe.
Wow, this is really, really, really beautiful. Yeah, this is as good as it gets, Nick. Look at that. It's an NCO, and because it's yellow piped, he was flight. So this guy was probably an NCO pilot, you know. Beautiful. Here's something too. The brim is patent leather, but it's still got the original shine to it. I don't see any moth on it at all. This is what they call that whipcord material, you know. I don't see any flaws in it, Nick.
It's beautiful. It's a great shape. If you had like a pristine second model, or let's say first model loop that would go with that.
Yeah.
Like with the aluminum one.
Yeah. And, geez, it hardly looks worn. But boy, see, somebody really cared for that after the war. I mean, it's not been crushed down and, you know, put in an attic someplace. It's just really, really nice. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it's 100% original.
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but some old-time collectors, some Jersey boys, they told me about when you could see this piping. If you can see a seam where it's connected, it's a fake.
It's a bad sign.
Because they really went through a lot of trouble to make sure.
Yeah.
They
no sign of the sewing involved. And let's see, the inside is really gorgeous too. Look at this. I'll move this paper aside. The cap was made in 1939 by an outfit, Herman ZE something. I can't make it out completely, from Berlin. And look at that sweatband too.
It's in nice shape.
Yeah, that's a. That's as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, I would love to have a.
It's as good as you're going to get.
Yep.
Yeah,
You think about the reality of that, Tom. That's an NCO with flight, so that's probably a relatively rare cap.
Can you just hold it
Well,
up and point it towards the camera for me one more
most
time? No, a little higher than that, Nick.
most pilots were officers, but there were some NCOs too that were pilots.
Also, if you were a flight crew, if you were
Flight
flying,
crew, yeah.
you got to wear yellow. So all the
yeah,
gunners.
he could have been
yeah.
a bombardier or something
Yeah.
too. But whatever he was, he really took care of his
He was
stuff.
blonde because I got one of his hairs still there.
They're all blonde.
He was a true Aryan.
Do some DNA on that one, huh? Let me see what. Wow, wants a lot of money for it, but I guess it's worth a lot of money.
Hey, Pop, we're running low over here.
Oh, okay. Well, we gotta take care of the drink schedule here. Can't be running low, Ob. So, what do you think of the stuff so far? Not bad, huh? Not too
Good
bad.
stuff. I do like that cap.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I can afford that. Then you said he wants a lot of money for it. I said, no, I can't afford it.
He does want a lot of money for
Well,
it.
something like that.
But that is his
mint. Yeah.
mint. Actually, he wants the price that you would pay for an officer cap. So but it's really the condition is so great. But we'll see. I think I'll buy it. If I like it, I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that likes it too, and maybe there'll be a dollar or two for poor old Whitman there. We'll see.
I'm thinking of your collector's room. I don't see any. I don't remember seeing an NCO Luftwaffe.
No,
cabinet. That
no,
might
you're right.
look really good upstairs in your cabinet.
It would, and then I can lay awake thinking, oh, I bet there's a moth in there or something. Was ist das here? Tom Whitman corrected the dress. Okay, to unload. I don't know. Let's see what it is.
This
Nicky.
is from Dalton Gardens, Indiana.
No, I haven't heard of that place either.
Yeah.
Well, these boxes are all from new places.
Yeah, it's good.
Our fame is spreading, Knob.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's good or bad.
I don't know either.
Is it? Are you famous or infamous?
Infamous one. Yeah.
One or the other.
I should say our infamy is spreading. That cutter's still working all right.
Working
Good
good.
old Bob
This
Burns.
feels like there's a multiple daggery box. Hopefully.
Oh boy, we're going to get complaints again from that guy. Too many daggers.
That's
the
the
rubber
most
band
ridiculous
man.
thing I ever heard. You can never have too many daggers.
Too daggery.
It's one of these rubber band mans here.
Yeah, rubber band man. Well, the rubber band's a lot easier than
There's a
the-
letter there, Pop. Do you want to look at that first?
Okay. Rubber bands are a lot easier than the tape.
Yeah.
Let's see what this thing is. Well, he says there's a couple of bayonets and an SA, I think he says. I don't know which one to do first. I'll try this one, I guess. And lots of free rubber bands. I like the rubber band method. It's a lot easier than trying to get tape off and all. So
And everyone always gets nervous when it's taped up too much and you got the cutter and you're
yeah,
gonna
right,
put a nick in
look
the
out,
dagger.
Whitman! You're gonna cut that issue tag off of it.
Look at that perfect scabbard. Well, it used to be perfect.
Yeah, now it's got a big Bob Burns cut down the center of the anodizing. Oh boy! Now collectors, I've never done that. Hope it'll never happen either. Oh, let's see what we got here. Wow, look at that.
That's a beautiful handle.
Look at the condition.
Was that made yesterday?
Oh, look at that. Oh, boy, that's fantastic, isn't it? Look at the condition of that. Wow, I guess it's... And the scabbard, too, is perfect. And you got a police trotto on it, but boy, it looks original to it, doesn't it? The way it's all tied and set in place, and you wonder why a policeman would be wearing that, huh?
Well, I'm surprised I don't see a policeman insignia
Right, yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Maybe he couldn't afford the
Yeah.
insignia.
No maker mark on it, but boy, just beautiful. So there's some. I guess I dropped a little ice on there or something. Yeah, there we go. But that's a real butt kicker, isn't it? Man, that's nice. I don't think anybody'd be ashamed to have that piece in their
No, I
collection.
really like this trottle too.
Yeah, that is original to this piece. I mean, that, just the way that's done and all, and yeah, this doesn't even move. I mean, this has been on here forever. So apparently, some police guy, maybe when he was off duty, he wore that or something, you know, instead of his regular police bayonet. I don't know, but what's the matter, Rob? Let's see what we got next here. Oh, we're seeing some nice things, Nicky.
Can you just hilt this and put it off to the side?
I'll take care of that.
Or maybe he doesn't want it over. I don't know. Came separately.
I think it made it easier to fit into the
Yeah.
box, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
He's probably, no, I don't want it hilted.
Yeah, he's probably, oh, I never had it in the scabbard. You put it in the
Oh,
scabbard.
now you scrape the blade.
Yeah.
Get rid of that, Nicky.
All right, I won't put it in. You're right.
No, you can put it in, Nick. Put it in. You know, it looks like we got something else that it looks quite similar through the bubble wrap. Oh my goodness. Wow. You kidding me? Look at that, Nick. A holler with the stag grips. And this must be the scabbard for that. Boy, that's a pretty piece.
That's incredibly bright.
Well, somebody shined these up, but it
Yeah.
just shows you how they come up if you want to do that. But nonetheless, it was a great piece to start with. There's a few scratches in the pommel area there, but it's...
It looks to me as if this is an original finish, because usually when you polish it up, you get a little stain
Yeah,
on
something that-
the
yeah, I
leather.
agree.
That leather looks perfect.
yeah, the buffer looks brand new.
I think it's never been cleaned. It's been that way since it was made.
It's really, really nice. Let's see what the scabbard is. That's in the same condition. You'll be right, Nick. Yeah, look at there. Wow. Wow.
Now that I would love to add to my collection. That's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
With a holler mark and all. Does it look as good on the other side? Yeah. Yeah, that's a killer.
The leather on the Fra looks the same as the leather on the spacer.
Well, this would make it Luftwaffe.
Is there any markings on there? I can't see.
I don't see any, but
No.
but if it were Luftwaffe, why does it have an Army NCO knot on it? The Luftwaffe NCO has a gray cord to it. Even still, it looks great.
That's a beautiful piece. Yep.
Yeah, it is. Now this person has a very, very good taste. Here's a guy that really appreciates these things. You know, you can tell. It just has. He does it so lovingly that he packages his scabbards separately from the pieces. And let's see what we got here. Wow!
Oh,
Look at
that's
that
nice.
blade. M79. This is a later SA dagger, but the condition of it is absolutely superb. You won't see a better blade than that. Isn't that nice?
That is really nice.
Yeah. See if the scabbard's in the same condition.
I love the color of the handle and everything.
Yeah.
That's for being plated. It looks pristine. Almost looks like it's
Yeah.
nickel.
No, it's nickel plated.
Yeah. I don't even want to touch that blade. It's so nice.
Yeah. Let's see if I can figure out how to get this scabbard out of here.
Actually, I wouldn't want to put that back in the scabbard either. 'Cause
No,
that blade looks like it's not even any runner
No
marks on
runner
it.
marks on it. Yeah, look at the paint on that. Yeah, that's
I've seen ones that didn't look this nice that still have the tags on them. You know what I mean? The issue tag. If that had an issue tag on it,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be surprised.
and Ob's going to say, who's 7'9"?
Yeah, who's M79?
Yeah, I knew he was going to say that, so we'll look it up here.
I think it's Shuttlehoffer, no?
No, that's 13. M79. It's not a maker you see that often, though. So got a ways to go here. 39. There we go. It's oh, it's an SMF. Huh? How about that? Well, that's. I have to say, all three pieces are just exemplary.
That's a beautiful milk chocolate colored scabbard.
Yeah.
That's like a really nice tone to it.
Yep. No,
That's a beautiful blade for an RZM piece.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like right out of the factory.
The day it was made, it didn't look any nicer than that.
No, it couldn't
Yeah.
have. Couldn't have. All right, Nicky, we'll put them away. Don't put that back in a
No,
scabbard.
I'm not going to. No.
No, I think that.
Now I know why he did that.
Yep. You're not smoking your Denobili. What do we got next, Nicky?
Riverton, Utah.
Aha. That should be a good place. I think Utah's still got a lot of open territory, though.
I'm sure it does. A lot of different towns on this video, Pop.
Yeah. Yeah, places we haven't heard from. All right, let's see what this got here.
Feels daggery.
Daggery again, Nick. Let's see what this is. Wow. Boy, I kind of like that. Take that over there. I kind of like this one there.
It's Imperial, isn't
Yeah,
it, Pop?
this is a real early piece. You know, collectors, you're going to say, oh, that's Plaque because it has the rivets like that, but these rivets are different than what Plaque did, and it's got that real early Bakelite grip. So this goes back to either the Great War or the early 1920s. Also, the scabbard is blued. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That lug
good
looks
shape.
extra big, too.
Nice condition, yeah.
That lug looks huge.
It would seem that he's got the bayonet in the scabbard backwards, but he probably likes seeing the rivet heads straight up because on the back they have spanners. So this is the front of the dagger, but it does look better that way. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's just a plain blade with no maker, and this is not normally an early blade either, with the stepped edge and all.
Almost like the blade from a fighting knife, not a bayonet.
It's normally a blade we associate with the Third Reich time, but I do think it's from the 20s with this hilt configuration. But boy, what a quality piece! That quality. This is all faux. No, it's just there for decoration, and they even put the felt in the rifle slot, which has served no purpose, you know. So
Surprising it's still there after all this time.
and
100
it
years.
looks like the original
Oh,
too,
yeah.
doesn't it? I mean, it's there's a lot of dust and dandruff in there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
see that's the way it should be in the scabbard, but. And you never know, somebody could have turned the rivets around.
That's what I was thinking
years,
too.
you know?
The rivets are in
Yeah.
the wrong way.
Because why wouldn't you want the heads out on the obverse instead of the reverse? I don't know, but I like that though. That's a nice piece.
Yeah, it looks like these they've been messed with because this one is exposed right there. So
Yeah,
it
a
probably
little
fits.
more,
It probably
yeah.
fits better the other way anyway.
Yeah, It very well may.
So the new owner can fix that.
Yeah. Probably the guy that had the bayonet originally, he was sitting in a trench somewhere and nothing to do, and he thought, oh, I think I'll take this apart or something, you know. Who knows? Just conjecture, of course. Okay, here we have a late HJ, and we know that it's late because of the plating over the pot metal base. You know, it tends to fade away, but the grip plates are still good, and it's a nice insignia. Leather's still good. So let's see.
What's going on with that button?
Nah, it's a real button.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, we tend to think, the plating's all faded and all, but you have to think of the period when this was made, and this is what you see, you know. So it has to be an acceptable condition, even though it was bright when it was new, you know. But and here we have a blade. It's got a little sharpening in it. It's a later blade with a ricasso and no motto, and but it's not too bad. I mean, considering what some Hitler Youth blades
Yeah, I've
look
seen
like.
worse.
Yeah, I've seen a lot worse. And oh well, that makes up for a lot. Here we go.
Yeah, double proof. That's
Double
always
proof
good.
Carl Eichhorn. Yeah, there's the 1940 it was made. But that's not a bad piece. You know, it's not something that breaks the bank, but it's still pretty nice.
Well, that sharpened the living daylights out of it. That's for sure.
The kid put a point on it. See, it should have been more of a rounded point. The kid did that.
Well, if you're going to collect HJs, you have to take that into consideration.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. So
I think the most important thing to me with the HJ is the leather.
leather, yeah.
If that's still intact, it's a good piece.
Yeah.
And the button's still there too. So they get ripped off.
Yeah,
all
if
the
the
time.
leather's gone, nobody wants a piece. That's it, you know.
It's not moving as much as you would like.
Let me see. No, it still wiggles though.
A little bit?
It's,
All right.
it's pinned in there. I always like that when they wiggle, and because those insignia were pinned. So normally when the Bakelite shrinks a little bit, the wiggle's there. Not all the time, but it is most of the time. Well, they weren't too bad, Nick.
Oh, this one's got a little bit of weight to it. Hopefully it's something good.
Ah.
This is coming from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, Fayetteville, yeah, that's a stop we make from New Jersey when we're driving to Florida. That's the first night, Fayetteville.
When do we ever do that?
I have
Oh, this must be something good.
a
Box in a
within a
box.
box. Okay.
There's another box in there, Nick?
Now,
No.
looks like decent stuff coming out there. Here's a letter you might be able to look at first. I thought that was just stuffing.
This is, I think it might be sort of a repair. This, I don't know, we'll see. It says it's a Bubba mess. What's a Bubba mess?
I have no idea. Is that like a Yiddish expression?
Yeah.
We call that AFU.
Yeah, all right. Let's see what this is. You didn't cut that open, Nicky. Make it easier on poor old Whitman. Well, I'm set for a Bubba mess. We'll see what it is.
It doesn't look too bad at first glance. It looks pretty good.
Well, there's two pieces. I'm not sure which one he's referring to as the Bubba mess.
A bit of plastic there. There. Tape.
Oh, that's okay. Now this is going to be a Hellbig dagger. The way we can tell is right away The grip eagle is up too far. Only the Helbig firm put them up that far. And only the Helbig firm made their crossguards out of steel and chrome plated them. These are steel chrome plated, which I'll just prove to you. It's
Now,
the
hope you
only
get that
maker
off of
to
there.
do that.
I gotta hold this
Can't
there.
get it off yet. But that's the way Helbig made them, and the scabbard mounts are also chrome plated. They're not nickel.
Looks like a Frankenstein thing down here.
Yeah.
The screws are sticking out so far.
You know what it was? The screws were too long, and they didn't bother to cut them down. But that's easy to do. I can do that. Straighten that out.
Gives it character.
Ooh, awful blades.
There's something going on in the back of that scabbard too. You might want to look at.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Look at that. Vona Eddie. So it must have been a sweetheart or something that...
From this angle, it looks like love.
You're right.
But,
I'm sorry.
but
yeah,
maybe that is
it is love, yeah.
love.
Edie.
He thought it was German. This is, I think someone,
Love Edie.
after he came to this country.
Love
did that
Eddie.
too.
Yeah, the girlfriend gave it... It's not Eddie, it's probably Love Edie, right?
Looks like Eddie to me.
How would you spell Edie?
EDDY.
Well, maybe Eddie gave it to his girlfriend.
Well,
no.
I don't know.
Let me just take a look at the whole Dagger overall instead of you
Well,
guys
this,
looking at the whole thing.
We're having a good time over here.
yeah.
It is a Helbig. It's at 773.
It's ground down.
And they were notorious for terrible etches.
The blades on backwards too.
And then
Yeah.
the tip is broken
All right, let
off.
me just do a little
Yeah,
shot
blades
here.
on upside down,
It's not upside down, it's all backwards.
backwards, yeah.
Oof.
But with all that said, the wood looks nice. It's a nice color. It's a nice quality wood.
This is one they call specialty Dagger here.
But this company, they're the only ones that made the stuff out of these things and always had terrible etches. The etches are way too light, and but because of all that, people collect them. They love them. I
Yeah,
don't know.
somebody like this Dagger.
Yeah. But this needs to be reshaped here. That's I don't think there's a lot going from it, so a little bit of reshaping to put the tip back on it won't be a major crime.
But is it worth to go
Is
to
it
that much
worth
trouble
it?
for a
Yeah.
blade in that condition?
Like I say, there are people that collect Helbig daggers, and they would take it the way it is.
What did
They-
you say that was? Volve?
Vovi Eddie.
Edie.
Yeah.
I like that.
yeah. You're right. I was looking at it sideways. I thought it was German. I didn't recognize the L on there. Of course, a couple drinks may help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't hurt.
That's a quality NSKK there.
You
I
want
like
the
that
rest of
color.
this to nobly,
Yeah,
or you
yeah,
done
yeah.
with it?
No.
Yeah. Give me a little bit more. Get you in here.
Vovi.
Light your beard on fire.
Vovi Edie. I like that.
Well,
like,
what
like
he
a Three
says,
Stooges skit.
yeah, he says the NSKK is a fornicated up Bubba mess. Just curious about what you think is best for it.
Leave it the way it is.
But my AFU tape, it was pretty much on target for that.
Yeah, he says, try to find a blade or trade it to you for parts.
No, I think it's got a lot of
It-
cachet.
I think
As it is,
It's
it
got
still has some
character.
value.
It
It's
does.
obviously the vet sent it back to his girlfriend, I bet.
Yeah,
and then that's it.
I probably ought to be left the way
Yeah,
it
just
is. It's
leave
kind
it
of
the
an
way it is.
interesting
It's
thing.
a
I mean,
nice
it's not something that's going to break
You
the
can
bank.
make great
up line.
stories to go with that.
Yeah, you can just make up anything
Yeah.
you want.
We have
Well-
a tradition in Philadelphia. Never let the facts get in the way of a good
Right.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least don't say it's Mova.
Edie.
Boy, I screwed that up bad, didn't I, Nick? Oh well.
No, you
No,
gotta
you
like
made
it.
it great. You
Scabbards.
could use Bob Burns' cutter.
Oh, I think I
I
got
like that
far with
dagger.
Oh, I like this.
Well, let's see. Oh, he says something about that too, but we'll see. Oh, wow, I like this too. Wow, look at this. Look at that, Nick. Wow, this is really a rare thing.
Oh. Forget about that essay I was going to buy today. I might have to buy this one.
Forget about the Vova Eddie. Wow. This is fantastic. I'm not sure what those two words say. There's Reich Parteitag. Oh, Nuremberg, 1937. Wow, this was given to somebody during the party day. The leather's coming up a little bit here, but that's easy to fix that because the leather's still good.
I'll see better days, but that inscription makes up for a lot.
Wow, the blade is still perfect. Just got a lot of oil and grease on it. It's a hell big also. But this is terrific. I'll put this out here so Ob can get a good photograph of it. And my friend David Goldsmith in England, he'll look at that, and an hour after the video's done, I'll have an explanation of what it is.
It's done so quite well too. That's very nice. Yeah.
I like that though. I like that.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we are with this NSFK. At the owner of the Dagger says he thinks the translation is the first march of the NSFK Reich Party Day, Nuremberg, 1937. So I would think, Nick, that maybe if this was the first time the NSFK appeared there, because remember, they were the DLV before this and then were converted to the NSFK, and it probably was 1937. So this may have been the first time that they made an appearance at the party day, and this was given to maybe the head or something.
That's when Hitler thumbed his nose at the Versailles Treaty and said, "We're going to have an air force, and there's nothing you can do about it."
Oh, that's
because before that, the DLV was the Deutsche Luftverband, which is a flying club, which wasn't an official air force, even though it was.
They were hiding the fact
yes.
that,
but everyone in the world knew it, so might as well come out in the open.
But that's actually, this may be a very historical piece.
I think it is. I like it a lot.
And the condition is there. I mean, this leather to tack down is nothing. And the blade looked to me like it was mint, just a lot of grease on it.
If I was to buy this, I would leave it exactly as it is. I don't like to mess with things.
Yeah.
This is piece of history.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
Just don't make it worse. Don't fiddle with it and make it worse.
Yeah, you're doing somebody glued this.
Let me see what's under there. Then it makes it worse.
Let me just look at this blade again. Yeah, see, this is all just grease that will all come out of there. It's hardened grease that's been there for years. But see, all the grain is still on the blade, too. I think that this is a...
Now, would there be a K on the crossguard, Dad, on that one?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there would be. Yeah, it's there.
You can usually judge these flying knives by the quality of the condition of the leather.
Yeah.
And you can tell that wasn't worn that much.
But you can see that whoever had it did wear it, though.
Yeah, that's a great piece.
I think that is.
If you're a DLV
it's
guy,
very, very
NSFK
historical
guy, yeah, you got to have that.
And maybe an important piece. I'll have to look up and see the year when the NSFK was merged from the DLV, which probably 37 would be...
I think it's 36 to 37, somewhere around there.
36 was when Hitler threw the Versailles Treaty away, so the next year probably would be when they were... Well, that's a good thing.
Stuff.
Well, where are we going now, Nicky? I'm still getting over that NSFK. That was quite a piece.
It was. That was extremely nice.
Yeah, I think that's very, very historical.
I hope that gentleman wants to sell that and not just get it repaired.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I can twist his arm. Something you would like, isn't it?
I would love that.
Yeah.
But if I can't have
I kind of look at myself.
if I can't have it, I want to see it in your collection. Oh, I forgot to say where this is coming from.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're getting so caught up in that. In Smith, Windsor, Connecticut.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. South Windsor.
Yeah.
Have another
I'd like to
drink.
show you that, but it looks like an M to me. Yeah, have another drink. I'm delirious from the cigar.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Lack of oxygen.
Let's see what we got here. I'd like to sell these items, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see what he's got here.
Got a lot of little different things here.
A slew of stuff here.
Oh, something looks interesting here.
Oh, an AH plaque, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a nice one. All metal, stamped out. They must have made millions of these kind of things, you know. Everybody had one of them in their house, and
Did you have to have one? Yeah.
it's like saying, did you have to have a Mein Kampf?
Yeah. Everyone had one, but nobody read it.
I've read accounts in some towns, I think it was in Essen or someplace, in 1945 when the war was coming to an end and the Germans, you know, they were bombing all the cities, and they would say how these things came flying through the windows of the houses where people were throwing them out on the street. So I don't know whether there's any truth to that or not, but there sure are a lot of them around. Volkskanzler, the People's Chancellor. There you go.
Right.
But that's nice.
Leave that there.
I haven't seen that particular one. There must have been 40 companies making these things, but
It seems very well made.
what's nice too is the way it's
The high relief, yeah.
high relief out of the metal. That was one hell of a stamp to bring that all the way out of the metal like that.
And the lettering too, it's nice.
And the lettering, yeah. That's one of those huge things that would come down, boom, you know. Well, let's see what we got here, Nick. Some smaller items. Oh, it looks like we have another one of these. This is for the less affluent Hitler admirers. Same type of thing. Something that you had to have over your kitchen stove or your table or something. Yep. Still got the piece to hang it on the back. See what we got here. Let's see how this opens up. I can't figure that one out. Try this method. Yep, that works.
Looks like a nice second-class iron cross with the bag.
Yeah, I don't want to bend it up. It just about fits this envelope. Yeah, well, there's a bag. It's an original Iron Cross issue bag, you know. And a nice ribbon. The paper. Everything but the Iron
Where's
Cross.
the cross?
Yeah, where's the cross?
Well, maybe it's in
Yeah,
there.
maybe it's one- there it is.
Maybe it's here, yeah.
This is just a tease.
That's nice though to have all the paper and that cross. I mean, it's never even been written, never even been unfolded. That ribbon. Well, this is not the one because this is a first class Imperial. But gee, it's beautiful though. Isn't that nice, Nicky? All the
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
all the finishes on it, and
They look really good, and they're so
Yeah.
much less expensive than the Third Reich ones.
well, not that much
Well,
anymore. But
Are they coming up?
yeah.
They used to be a lot less.
Kind of
Yeah.
upside down, Pop.
I know, but I think it's marked there too. Is that a mark, Ob? You can see on the camera. That's a. I like the patina.
Yeah,
on it.
that's
Nice,
never been
yeah.
messed with. I like
That's
that.
nice, yeah. Well, let's see if this one is a second class. See if we can cut that. My Bob Burns didn't work too well. Good. Yeah, here we
There
go.
it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that, collectors. Isn't that nice? Unissued set. I like. You gotta like that.
I love
mean,
it.
That's really.
I have one almost exactly like that, a little bit nicer.
Oh yeah.
I got from you. Same exact
any,
setup.
Any numbers on the ring?
Yeah, we'll look and see. Not on that side. They're usually on the back side. Yep. There they are there, if you can get it.
Oh.
It's kind of hard,
You're
but
risking
there
a
are
lot
numbers
there.
there, I think.
Get out your telescope.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a...
This has been left in the open because it's got a nice uniform patina.
Yeah. That's really, really nice. And
Like-
you can see it's never been
Yeah.
worn, and then you have the original paper wrap and all too. It's a very nice thing.
And you can see the seam, the way it's
Yeah,
put together, so
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
That's the one thing you don't see on the fakes.
Yeah, because they
It's-
were
it was
they
two
were
pieces
two
that they
pieces,
put together.
Put the steel piece in the center. And I like the first class imperial piece too.
It is a nice
Dude,
piece.
that's nice.
It's a very nice. It used to be a nice set.
Used to be nice, yeah.
Just want to see if there's
All
anything.
right,
on
Nick,
the,
you owe me $500.
just want to see if there's
Well,
anything
it's only worth 300 now.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Wow.
Really nice toned badges.
Boy, isn't that a nice Panzer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Panzer Assault.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, I'm sure this is a good one. Boy, this is pretty. Look at that maker mark in the back and all.
That looks very legit. That's a quality
Boy,
metal.
that is a very good quality metal. Yeah, and the General Assault, that's a quality piece too. Look how much details in there and all. It's really beautiful.
And that's made of nickel, most likely.
Zinc,
Zinc.
but it's really in nice shape.
That is nice. Beautiful.
And here's a General Assault. It looks like it's maker marked on the back.
I like that the way he probably had his medals displayed. They're all toned. They were in the air.
Yeah,
Especially the toning on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Panzer badge is beautiful.
Beautiful, even, like chocolate
Yeah.
toning. That's a very nice badge.
Yeah. All right, well, Nick, you brought something else here that you're going to teach us a little bit about. And I see here we got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighting knives.
These
not
are-
bayonets, they're U.S., right?
They're officially called trench knives.
Trench knives.
These
okay.
5.
Yep.
And or a lot of people call them fighting knives. It's the government designation is an M3. All right. So in my opinion, there's 5 main types of M3 trench knives in World War II, and I have an example of each one here. And I also have a wild card I brought with me, which is an M4 bayonet, which is exactly like an M3 fighting knife, but with modifications to go into a rifle. We'll discuss that at the end. So,
Okay.
so basically, 2.5 million M3 knives were manufactured between, I think, March 1943 and August of 44, and then they stopped production completely.
But they're called M3s.
M3 trench knife. They're officially known as a trench knife,
Okay.
which is, they used the same size knife in World War I, which was the trench knife. People see those with the knuckles on them. They see those knives.
Gotcha, yep.
And so this is a modern version of that particular fighting knife. It has a blade is 6 3/4 inches long, which they decided was the perfect length to hurt somebody through thick clothing. So even if you were wearing a heavy overcoat in the winter, this would still penetrate enough to do damage and not be bulky enough to where it was awkward to carry.
Uh-huh.
Right. So basically, when they started making these in 1943, this is the first type, and they used an M6 leather scabbard, which you see here, which is completely attacked with the hooks for going on your web belt. And they also, when they first made them, they had the blades inscribed with the maker and the date,
Right.
which is 1943. Of course, that's the only date you'll ever see on these knives.
Where's
So-
that at? Nick?
right here.
Over on top. Okay.
Right there.
Yeah, thank you.
The grip, is that a leather wrap?
These
is
are
it?
stacked leather washers. They're cut, stacked,
washers.
they're washers, and they have an opening for the tang. And then they're stacked up, tightened, and then this is hammered on. And you see on the pommel, you see how it's hammered on, it's forced on. And every one of these, and I have never seen an exception, it has a flaming bomb. It could be awkward, and you just see half of it right there, but there's always a flaming bomb, the ordnance acceptance mark. And on the earlier ones, they're very faint. If you see an early one with the date and marked on the blade, and you see a really strong bomb, flaming bomb, be suspect, because they didn't do a good job doing it. They're almost always halfway there or faded.
So kind of vague.
They're kind of vague.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to find them with the leather washer still intact. So this is the first type, which is the type with the maker mark and the date on the blade. Now, go ahead.
I just want to ask you what this is here. Is that just a reinforcement?
That's to protect the leather. These knives were kept extremely sharp.
Yeah.
Like a razor blade.
Yeah.
So going in, they would cut the leather.
Yeah.
And then, as with that same thing you pointed out, look on the very bottom, you see these metal plates?
Yeah.
They're on both sides. So if you bend it, the blade doesn't come through the leather and stab you in the leg. Because if you're holding it here and you bend down, you don't cut yourself.
That's pretty interesting.
It must have happened.
How many times did that happen before they reinforced it?
So these earlier ones have the metal plate to protect you from the tip. All right, so we'll take this out and we'll leave that out. And this is the second type.
Wait a second.
1 second.
Okay,
Pit stop.
Priorities.
Yeah, let's take a pit stop here.
Isn't that awful? We have to stop the tutor here
To indulge your...
so that I can have another drink. It's just not right, guys. I know.
He's the professor. You're the president. What are you gonna do?
Okay, I'm sorry, Nicky. You were just going good too, and I interrupted your
Don't
thought.
worry. It happens.
Just push him aside, Nick.
No, he's the only reason I'm here. Again, thanks for bringing me back, Tom. I love showing up here.
We love having you
and
here.
annoying
You're a
you
great
and
guy.
your customers, or your viewers, I should say. So these two are the earlier ones with the, like I said, again with the date on the blade. Shortly after these were made, they did testing in the field, and a complaint was the blades were breaking. They told the guys to abuse them. All right, so they were using them as wedges and everything else.
Yeah.
And the blade snapped right where the date is.
Yeah.
So they go, that's not the blade's fault. It must be the date stamped in there weakened the blade.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
within a month.
So that little
Yes.
bit of impression into the metal
Yes.
caused it to break in that area.
Whether or
Wow.
not that's true, I don't know, but that's what
It
was
could be.
said.
Sounds
so
reasonable.
within about a month or 6 weeks of production, they quickly removed the date. So you only have the maker mark, US M3, and the maker mark on it.
And the thought is because of the blade breaking what
Yes.
the date was. Wow, that's interesting. Wow.
Because apparently 3 or 4 broke right at that exact spot.
Wow. So other than that, this second production piece is the same.
It's exactly the same.
Just the date.
The date is missing. Now, there's a lot of variations on these knives with parkerized blades, blued blades, non-blued blades. This particular blade has been heavily cleaned and sharpened. This is like a razor blade.
Yeah.
This was used.
Was it sharpened
period.
by the factory or the?
No, it did have a factory sharpening, but every
Not-
soldier
not
did
like that, no.
not like a razor blade.
Yeah.
And this guy, sharpened this one
Yeah.
to death. And this particular scabbard is another M6 scabbard, which are hard to come by. This one was cut down. You see the difference in the size? This one has the hooks to go on the web
Yeah,
belt,
right.
and this one does not.
I
And
wonder why that is.
the soldier cut that off, period. That leather was cut off.
Oh, so it did have the,
90 years ago or 80 years ago, whatever it was. And it did have it, but because most of the soldiers of Special Forces, like, I want to assume this was either airborne or, Rangers or something like that. Because
So regular infantry guys weren't issued these?
there wasn't
No.
enough. 2.5 million of these were made. You think that's a lot?
Yeah.
It actually wasn't.
Wow.
These particular ones, they didn't need the hooks because they wore them on their boot, on their leg.
Ah.
It was like there, or a
So
lot of guys
it's,
wore it on their arm.
So it's common to see that catch
Yes,
cut off
yes.
of it. Yeah.
Most of the guys who actually used it cut that off because they didn't want that, dangling around.
Is this the same company as this company?
Excuse me.
That's
No.
ugly.
Yeah, and I love those Denoblies.
Boy, they're
No.
great, aren't they?
There,
Have another.
yeah, there's about five different companies made these M6 leather scabbards. Maybe it was 4, but this is there are 2 different ones here.
What is this made of? Is it just metal staples?
Yeah,
or-
metal staples. That's all that
Just a
is.
staple. Okay,
Yep.
that's cool.
I see that they still had the date on the scabbard.
Yeah, the
though,
date.
so,
All of these leather scabbards were all dated 1943.
Yeah.
And it's
Now,
all,
let me just ask too. Were these used in the Japanese theater as well as the European theater?
They were mostly used in the European theater. Now, I've had this discussion with a few other knife collectors. There are some M3 knives that did go to the South Pacific, but they were solely in Army units, not Marine Corps units. Marine Corps got all their knives from the Navy Department. They were K-Bar style knives.
Uh-huh.
They weren't all made by K-Bar, but
Yeah.
everyone knows them as K-Bar.
Right.
And this was issued, like PAL mostly made them, and a few other, Robinson Company. They
So it was acknowledged that K-Bar had the best designs.
for
and that's,
for that type of knife
yeah.
in that theater, they used it more
Yeah.
like a Bowie knife type design.
Mm-hmm.
The Army in the European theater and some in the South Pacific like to get these knives. But apparently, a lot of the guys in the South Pacific in the Army also ended up with Navy equipment.
Oh, really?
In some
Yeah.
cases,
Yeah.
because the Navy Department, ordered just like the Wehrmacht and the Luftwaffe ordered different things.
Yeah.
We had the same situation going.
Well, there's always little
Yeah.
problems between the service branches.
So when you want to collect these, this particular one, the full intact. Now, this is cool, but this, of course, is worth more because it's not cut.
Even though we know why it was cut off.
Yeah, but I can't prove it. See, the problem is now, if I had a 101st Airborne guy personalize this,
Yeah.
and I could prove it was carried by them,
I see,
then
then,
it would be worth 3 or 4 times what it's
Yeah.
worth. But there's no way to prove or disprove that.
Right.
Any soldier could do that. Most likely, it was Special Forces, but again, that's just
Yeah,
my opinion.
I hear you.
So we all know what that's worth, right? So and now this next one is the knife is relatively the same, but the scabbard changes. And shortly after, I would say within 3 or 4 months of making this knife in 1943, they realized this leather scabbard didn't hold up well in bad weather,
Yeah.
and it was very expensive. And they came out with the new type of scabbard, which is, a lot of people call them cardboard and plastic, but it is, I
Not
think
metal?
no, it's not metal at all.
Wow.
It's technically, I believe this is resin impregnated canvas. It's
Wow.
material just coated with a resin and then hardened.
To harden it up.
Yes.
Why the leather wrapped around it?
This is what the soldier did. Just when
to
they're
make
bored.
it look cool,
Yeah.
or yeah.
And most of these knives are usually personalized. These 2 were probably personalized with the leather, but it wore off. They drew in the leather.
Is that why these things are on the?
Yes, they're tie downs.
They're just stuff that the soldier added.
No, they came with it.
Oh, they
Every
come with it?
scabbard came with. These are missing them.
Oh, I see.
But
There's a hole there.
When
for it,
they're
yeah.
issued brand new, that lanyard or
Yeah.
tie down strap comes with it, and it's designed to tie on your leg so it's not flopping around.
So, Nikki, we were saying that this braiding is something that you're laying around in the
Yeah.
field and nothing to do, and
You weren't using the tie down. You weren't using it for what it was designed for,
Yeah.
to strap it to your leg, so you just fiddled with it and did stuff with it.
do you see a lot of that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's very common. And this is the M8 scabbard, and these were considered called M6.
Uh-huh.
So the newer, modern M8 scabbards that only had belt loops. And you see these 3 only have belt loops. They don't have the hooks for the web belt.
Yeah, and they're all that canvas woven
Yeah.
too.
And most of these knives, I was going to say earlier, are personalized. These probably wore off the leather. This one actually has an officer serial number etched into the back.
Oh, so you could trace that guy back.
Yes. It's hard to read, but I have it written down somewhere. But It's it's that's an officer serial number, and this type is blade marked, but it is in the newer scabbard, the resin, or a lot of people call it plastic scabbard, the M8 scabbard. So that's the third type.
So let me just say then, so officers also carried these.
Absolutely,
knives.
yes.
These is not just enlisted men.
Nope.
Okay.
And in fact, they were scarce and hard to come by, and people would try to get them, so they would steal them. So most people did personalize your weapon.
That's my.
Yes, because you didn't want other people taking it.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't enough to go around.
U.S. soldiers wouldn't do that, would they?
No, not as far as you know. And so this is the Type 3, which is still blade marked. And now the Type 4 is what you see a lot. We just saw that double-proofed Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
This is a double-proofed one, and you have his blade marked. And this is an interesting maker too, Kinfolks Inc. Kind. And also, I hope you can get this, it is guard marked right there.
What's guard marked mean?
It is marked on the guard.
Oh, on the guard. Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
You know, one thing I noticed, Nick, too, that we didn't mention, I noticed that there's a stepped false edge on the back of these blades on the later production from the early production.
That same edge is not a false edge. That's a real edge.
Yeah.
Made for fight. They're all the same. This one is just worn a little bit more.
Oh, it's still there.
It's still there.
Oh, I just missed it.
And
All
this
right.
one is hardly. That's the factory sharpening. This is actually in really good shape. The parkerizing is still there.
Yeah.
So it's easy to see. The blades are all identical. They're supposed to be.
Yeah.
There might be a millimeter variance here and there,
right.
but they're identical. So this is the transition. This is happening still in 1943, probably 4 months, 5 months into production.
Yeah.
Now we're getting the transition pieces when they decided after a few more knives broke, get rid of all that stuff on the blade. Right. No more markings on the blade. Was only going to be on the guard.
That's what they
Well,
say.
there is markings on the blade here, though.
Well,
that's when they say, "Pop, stay in your own lane."
Yeah. Advice is harder to take the older you get. So this one is marked both because this was made when you're supposed to just have the guard marked and no blade markings. But this is an older blade that was put together at the factory, so they
had some surplus.
It was made after you were told that after the words have put the markings on the blade anymore to weaken it. So this is the final type, which is the most common by far. There are no blade markings whatsoever, and it's only marked on the guard.
And these are all issued during World War II?
Yes. They're still 1943?
No, they were only till August of 1944 they stopped making them. Then they only made M4 bayonets after that.
What's the initial... the first one you showed us, what year was that issued?
43.
43. So that's a really tight
very short
time,
very short lifespan of the weapon, because then they realized that they needed a bayonet for the carbine, the M1 carbine, which they did not. If you were issued an M1 carbine during the war, you had a M1 Garand bayonet that you carried. And you had either a fighting knife, but you did not have a bayonet that fit on your weapon. In fact, it didn't even have bayonet lugs on it. M1 carbines did not have bayonet lugs during the war. There were some at the very end, but they mostly were retrofitted after the war, in between, Second World War and Korea, and they had bayonet lugs installed. But here's the funny thing, if I consider, here's the wild card. This is not an M3 knife, this is an M4 bayonet. You can tell you have the barrel loop, and you also have the mechanism for attaching to your rifle for the bayonet lug.
Oh, with the machinery there.
All right. Now these were issued from 44 all through the end of the war as fighting knives.
Yeah.
Because they did not have any lugs on the carbine to put this.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a useless bayonet. It was issued as a bayonet, an M4 bayonet, but it was mainly used as a fighting knife during the war.
Did the carbines later have the accommodation?
Towards the end of the war, they were making them with the bayonet lug, and then after the war, they were sent back to the arsenal refinished, and every single one got a bayonet lug installed on it. So everyone you see in Korea will have a bayonet lug, and everyone you see in a picture, for real picture for World War II, there will not be a bayonet lug on the carbine. But still, all the soldiers were issued a M4 bayonet, even though there was no place to stick it other than using it as a fighting knife.
That's interesting.
So that's the basics of M3, a trench knife collecting.
That's pretty good, Nick. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Let me ask you one thing, too, Nick. Collectors are always interested. Approximately, what's a general value on these bayonets?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and it's hard to say, but I'll give you my best guess. And again, it's just a guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't sell things, I only buy them, and I bought a lot of these years ago. Now, this particular one, because of the condition of the blade, and it's date marked and everything else, and you have...
Is that the treasure of the group?
This is a treasure. This is probably between, $1,500, $1,600.
Oh, these are not cheap things.
No,
then.
no, they were. They used to be cheap, but now everything's expensive, of course, as you well know.
Yeah.
This one, it still have with the M6 scabbard, the cut down. You can play around with the airborne special forces type of deal. This is probably worth about $1,000, about $1,000.
Wow.
And now these, because these are the rarer ones, then big drop off. This one, because it is in nice shape, because the blade has a lot to do with the the value.
Right.
Probably in the area of $400 to $500.
So it cuts the value in half once you get into the, what did you call the?
Plastic.
Plastic scabbard.
This one keeps going in crooked. I don't want to force it. There it goes.
Yeah.
All right. And then this one probably the same area, $400 in that area. This is like $350, $400, and this is $200 to $250. The bayonet is like $200 to $250.
Really, the one with the rifle hookup.
Yeah, these are the most common. They made these even after the war, but they mostly also before the end of the war they started to use the hard rubber for the handles, and this is still the leather. So this was probably made in 44 or early 45, and then everyone made, from then until now has the plastic or the rubber handles.
So then you can tell the vintage by that.
Yeah, and in fact, the ones that went back to the factory, or back to the arsenal, I should say, the army, in between the wars, were then retrofitted. They took the leather washers off and put the rubber on it. So it's very difficult to find ones like that.
Now, Nick, you served in the Corps. Do you get to keep yours?
No.
No.
No. No, they sell them at the PX. A lot of guys like to have their K-bar when I was in the Marine Corps. So you weren't allowed to keep the one they gave you. Well, you weren't supposed to. But you could go to the PX and buy one. The same one they issue you one, you could just go buy it.
Yeah.
Very good.
What did they sell for back then, I wonder?
It wasn't cheap. I found out because a friend of mine wanted me to buy him one for the PX somewhere down south. And I did, and I gave him the price. I told him, what it was like maybe $28 or $32 back then. He goes, shit, I could have got it cheaper. I goes, I didn't know what it cost. They were charging me more than PX. Everything in PX is cheaper than out in the real world, except those things were more expensive.
For those who don't know, what's the PX?
It's the post exchange. Every military base has a department store, a supermarket for the people who are living on base to shop. And I throw these terms out, I apologize. PX is just short for post-exchange.
My late friend, Colonel Johnson, of course he was a lieutenant colonel, and he lived in Fredericksburg, but there was still a PX near him, and he and Tink, they were very thrifty, always went to the PX to buy their groceries, and they went for the dentist and all that kind of stuff. And I always thought it was very interesting because Tom was very wealthy, but maybe that's why he was very wealthy. He never spent
how do you think
money
he got so rich, right? You know the old saying.
So I always used to hear about the PX.
Yeah, once you're retired veteran, you have full access to the bases for the rest of your life.
They took advantage of that, I know full well. Tom had a toothache, and I said, why don't you go to the dentist? I can't, I got to go to the PX. Oh, well. Well, I got to thank you, Nick. This has it's been very, very...
thank you for having me.
I learned a lot, because I don't know anything about
No, we don't know anything about
Mighty
this. Thank you,
knives,
Nick.
and we do get them once in a while. People send them in, and we never know what to do with them, and we find out we sold something for $1,000 worth, and we sold it for $100.
How come I never get those deals from you? I seem to pay way over retail because you know I'm a sucker. But the so just quickly with these things, these are the 5 made types, in my opinion. There are 9 different manufacturers, so that's 45 different knives, just basic collection.
Yeah.
And then there's variations on blade finishes, on grips, the number of grooves cut in the leather. You see these are different.
Yeah.
This leather is different from these, and you see the little slight
So
variations.
you could virtually have a collection of 100 of these.
And easily
and
100
all the
different ones. Yep.
Wow, that's
And
great.
don't talk about condition, personalization. You know,
Yeah,
just like
that
anything
adds
else.
to it.
Yeah.
That you even have wooden grips where guys made their own, and you see those plastic grips that people make in theater-made knives.
Yeah.
Guys, they rot away. And these are all original leather washers, but a lot of times if you have them in the rain, they just rot away. They get damaged, so the guys replace
Well,
them.
like any leather, you know. Oh, that's great. I really appreciate you taking the time to come, and I hope you enjoyed your Denobili. You didn't drink all your
Yeah,
drink,
it's good enough.
but that's okay. We'll
It's
forgive
just
you.
right now. It's all watery. It
Just
goes down
right
a lot
now, yeah.
smoother.
Hey, Dad, I wanted to ask you, what's this stump over here you have real fast?
Oh yeah, Ob and I were over at my late friend Willie Warda's house, and we're trying to help.
Can you grab it and put it in front of the camera, or is it too much?
Yeah, I guess I can.
I'll get it. Let me get it.
Don't
It's
spill
pretty
your
heavy,
drink.
Nick. It's pretty heavy.
That's why I'll get it.
All right, you can get it because it is heavy.
Because it's such a cool piece, I thought people would like to see it.
And Mrs. Warda, Becky, very nice lady. She's loaded with scores and scores of all kinds of things in her house that she doesn't know what to do with, and she wants to sell her house. And so Ob and I, every 2 or 3 months, we make a trip over there and see if we can help her out with some of the things. So this was just one of the things that I thought was particularly nice. As you can maybe see, this is sawed out of a tree, and then it has the Hohenzollern, the Kaiser's family coat of arms in the center. It's kind of a nice. I took it off the wall and almost fell down with the weight of it. I thought it was going to be light, but it wasn't.
Nikki and I were looking at it. We think it's what, walnut?
I don't know wood that much,
Yeah.
but it looks like walnut to
Walnut,
me.
yeah.
It's got that color
Yeah.
and the density.
But it's kind of a nice thing.
It's a nice piece.
So anyhow, collectors, thank you so much, Nikki, for coming.
Thank
you're,
you.
You're always
Thanks,
such a
Robbie.
good guy.
Thank you.
The collectors love you. The last time you were
Well.
here, we were deluged with nice mail about Nick. When's he coming back?
Well,
So you got it. I don't know what else he collects, but
a lot of other
if
things.
he's
yeah.
got other things too, then maybe we'll get him back again. I hope we can.
I could do a whole tutorial on just M1 Garand bayonets.
Well, that might be.
And there's like 30 or 40 different basic varieties of those. Like,
They're
yeah.
gonna be like, when's that gonna happen? You know, I can
yeah,
see it already.
We'll do that next time. So
We'll do it
okay.
tomorrow. No.
No. I got to sober up.
Well,
Chance to sober up.
I like being here. Actually, I love being here, and I love collecting. And the only reason I earn money anymore is to get more things to my collection.
What else is there?
You are correct. And what you said earlier about Mr. Johnson, which I admire that, the one thing he wasn't cheap about was his daggers. He would spend anything on a dagger. He wanted to get the cheapest cup of coffee in the tri-state area,
Yep.
but he'll pay $40,000 for, an honor dagger.
Well, you're right. Many times I went with him for a cup of coffee, and he'd ask for separate checks. That's true. That's true.
Well, that's why he had 40 grand to buy a dagger when he came. Like I would love to buy a one of those expensive daggers, but I'll never get that kind of money together.
Well, he did a great job. He was a tremendous asset to this hobby. I mean, he really, I think he kind of set the pace with all originally with his lists and his books. You know, he wrote 29 books. Can you imagine that? He's a good friend. But anyhow, that's another story. So, okay, collectors, that's all for list, not list.
Listen to your list.
Yeah, list.
Where are we heading this week, Pop?
Oh, good question, Ob. Yeah, we're going to the infamous cornfield out in outside of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Middle of Ohio.
Yeah, it's and it is nothing but cornfields out there, but it's a nice show and we enjoy it a lot. It's kind of expensive to go to because it takes us a couple of days to get there, and we have to rent a big van and all that stuff. But it's always fun. It's a lot of dealers there, and there's a lot of room, and there's a lot of time, and everybody can get to talk with each other, and so it's always good. So the next video, I guess, will be showing some of the purchases from there.
I just had a great idea for you.
Yeah.
Get a giant Winnebago and you make it the Wham Winnebago, and you bring, and that way you save all that money in a hotel because you stay right in the Winnebago.
That's right. We can probably put you up in the top bunk too if you want to come.
I'll just put 10 on the top and just strap me down.
Yeah, that'd be good. But anyhow, we'll see you next time, collectors, and thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this show. I certainly enjoyed having Nicky here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, Nick. We appreciate it.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for your
having me.
service, too.
All right. Make sure I don't accidentally take your sword home instead of mine, because I liked yours a lot better.